2019, we have not been inside this arena for a first championship. We all know the reason why, because of COVID-19. 2020, we did not have it. 2021, we did not have it. 2022, we are back. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since 2019, number 1 versus number 2, waving each other. Ladies and gentlemen, your final 2 teams of the 2022 FIRST Robotics Regional Championship. Number 2 begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
I stress this to a lot of people when they ask me, oh, when you're on the field, can you hear us? And I tell them, oh no, when I'm on the field, I can't hear anything except for what's going on in the field. But I guess the fact that when our name got announced, when they introduced our team, I could hear everyone. And I guess that just shows how much the team wanted to win.
24-43!
I don't want to put too much emphasis on just our accomplishments. I think as a team, I think we did well. I think we won some what other robotics teams see as significant wins. But I think when I reflect back, it's the team itself. I think the students working together. I think this is one of the more cohesive groups we've had. It's funny, it's not it's not like there was one outstanding person or that even the group was necessarily the most outstanding. But I think collaboratively and as a whole, if you look at this team as a whole, they really gelled together. They really worked well together. And not just in practice and not just, when we were building, but also, when we went to competitions. I think everybody picked up for each other. I think we really worked, they really cared for each other, not just about the winning, but it was about, taking care of each other, yeah.
The robotics game this year, you had 2 tasks, right? One to shoot a ball into a high goal and one into a low goal. And then you also had climbing monkey bars, there are difficulties with both. So with climbing the monkey bars, we've never done that before. So it was challenging to figure out, from an engineering standpoint, where the stress points were going to be. What kinds of supports would be necessary to make this happen. We had to figure out gear ratios and deal with speeds and power and torque. So, being that it was the first time we've ever done something like that, it was very challenging.
I would say for sure the most difficult part this year would be the programming of the hang, because the hang had so much sequences that we wanted to automate. And of course, with automation, there's always this, I guess, when you think about it, there's always this scare of it messing up during trial and error process. But yeah, to automate that for a driver, having all those steps just to, just have it climb on that bar. And it's not just necessarily the movements that we have to be concerned about. We have to be concerned about time. We have to be concerned about how it works itself. So we know per se, one of our alliances or one of our team members, oh, you can't do this because it's gonna go here. That's the type of stuff we think in programming. And I just think the hang was really, it was something that we hadn't really tackled. I guess, that much in previous years. So I would say that was like the most complicated or like the most difficult program this year to really code and figure out. Because I remember like the people who worked on it, Wincy, Jovi, and Wincy, they took a lot of time and effort to figure out and make sure those sequences we made were correct. And not just correct, but also like really efficient for the drivers.
So with COVID happening, there's that gap year, and I guess most of us were, I guess, scared to say, because usually, for myself included, junior year is where you start like getting serious about the thing, and like that's where you hone in your skills. But without that junior year, that left us a gap year. I know a lot of people lost motivation because there was really nothing pushing us through that entire process.
Should I go any more? For the bar.
Oh, because we're not using the bag. Okay.
COVID, it wasn't so much the restrictions and all of that. It was just the uncertainty of, what was going to happen tomorrow. Not just next week, next month. I mean, when we started the season in January, we told these students, we're doing this, but do we know there's going to be a Hawaii Regional in March? Nobody really knows. So are you gonna come and commit yourself to this? And 30 kids, joined, and they were here, and I'm proud of them for that.
It made it a challenge because the leadership, the student leadership, they missed out on an important year. One of the parts of learning that they missed was leadership skills, being able to choose for the better of the team, making decisions, to be able to differentiate professional from personal lives. These important life skills were missed in their junior year. So I had to be more of a leader this year. They're excellent technicians, right? I give them a task and they did it well and they did it thoroughly, but nobody had vision. So I had to be the vision. So that kind of ties into the other question of what my teaching style is like. So I have to adapt to what they are. So if we do it correctly, then we end up winning stuff, right?
Champion for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, begins in 3, 2, 1, go! Final match underway. On the board right now, 7 points makes the difference. But the red and the blue was today. Blue thunder for that one.
Yeah, it was something else. Just seeing everyone so happy that we finally won was super fulfilling. We finally did it. We won Hawaii. We did something we have set to do in over 13 years. We finally won the Blue Banner, which was this thing we set out to do in the beginning of the season.
To the screen, and your champions are the Blue!
After I guess all of that emotion was over, I thought to myself like, nah, Worlds is next. So one thing I already knew this about myself, but I guess robotics just shows more of it. I'm super competitive when it comes to things like these, and I guess that's why I got so emotional towards the end, because I felt like I put my heart and soul out and I wasn't given the results I wanted. Just sometimes things don't go according to what you want to do, and you just have to learn to live with that. And I guess Worlds was a really good teacher for telling me that not everything's gonna go your way.
I love the first time when I told the students that, hey, this is what sports is like. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. But it doesn't mean when you leave everything on the field, and I like that because I played sports and all of that, and I never thought there'd be anything else where I'd actually be using these terms, you know, these sports analogies. But to kids who, I'll be honest, a lot of them have never played sports before. A lot of these kids, you know, their life is in the classroom. But to share with them these experiences, you know, teamwork and the competitiveness of it, you know, that we didn't score enough points. All right, okay, so we lost that. We didn't win, we got eliminated. Okay, you know, it happens. You know, if we were playing baseball and we lost that game in the state tournament, we got eliminated, we didn't make the champ. Okay, well, you know, that's how sports is. You know, it didn't mean you were bad. It didn't mean that anything else like that. It just meant that somebody was better than you on that match, you know? And just that analogy to something in robotics, education, that seems so weird. But when I go home, that's what makes it exciting sometimes. Yeah, and sharing that.
I turned about midway because I was just focused on reversing. This is the key here. Don't turn left.
Being a teacher under certain constraints during a normal school day, you can, you know, shed those and be real. You can be a real person, because some of the constraints we have as teachers are not realistic in the real world. For example, I can't tell a kid, you don't want to learn today, then go home and come back when you're ready. That in itself is an important lesson. It's like, if this is not for you, then find something else. But in the school day, you can't say that to a student. And that can create a bad situation where they don't want to be there, and they're making your life hard to teach other students. So that, in absence of that, it makes robotics much more enjoyable. Just like the students, we do research development, and then we see it actually work or even fail, right? But we get to see the result of our work in a real sense, like shoot the ball into the hoop, right? Or make the robot climb bars, right? If we do it right, it works. If it doesn't, if we did it wrong, it doesn't work, you know, and that's a real life thing. You succeed and fail in a real sense. So that gives me passion to do it. The other thing is, if I could teach the way I mentor robotics, I would enjoy my job better, because when you can put different passions into it without certain constraints, obviously you get better results. You know, if I could take my students and do real life things, you know, when it's one teacher and 150 students, it's hard to do real life things. But, you know, I have 19 or 20 at a time. We can do a lot more. We're much more mobile and able to do things, right? Resources are much easier to cover 19 or 20 students rather than 150. So, you know, those are the things that create the passion. The students, watching them learn from the first day they walk into my shop as freshmen maybe, right? Seeing what they cannot do, what they're afraid to do, seeing their shortcomings, right? Their challenges versus their strengths. And I get to mold that, and I get to try and make them a better person. So one of the philosophies of our team is we build winners. We build people to be winners, because winning people build winning products. And so if my students become winners, then our robot becomes a winner. I don't want our team to be about a professionally built robot that can win, and therefore we do win. I don't want that. I want my students to become winning human beings. Trophy or not. Okay? If you get a trophy, fine. You don't get a trophy, but you've become a winner, that's what I'm looking for. And usually that philosophy works. When the kids are winners, we win.
That's unfortunate, Marco. Like I've asked people like, and like people have told me, you don't seem like the robotics type of guy, and to a certain extent I can see like, oh yeah, I don't seem like the most nerdy or geeky person, but deep down it's, I don't know, it's just robots just make me smile, and when I do anything that involves robots, it's like it's something I want to do. It's like it's something I want to pursue. And although at times I'm like, oh, I'm tired of this, I don't know what I'm doing, there's always something that I guess I can't explain that really like gravitates me towards robotics, and that's what keeps me going.